All right, all right. So week two of really like week 1.5. I mean, we are at the end of almost the end of Tuesday, so I guess it's been 2 weeks since I've been fully self-employed. And that means this is episode two of the I Quit My Job, Now What series. I did change my microphone. I realized that at my last episode, I had the right microphone plugged in, but I didn't have the setting set up to use that proper microphone. So I apologize if the audio wasn't great. But this is what you get to see with this podcast series, all of the behind the scenes, all of the things that I'm recognizing along the way, and the tweaks that I'm making to improve as I move forward. I also realized that I was talking quite a bit in my first episode. So moving forward, I'm also going to try to keep these episodes under 30 minutes. So let's see if I can do that. But really quick, since I didn't even do a proper intro, this is week two of me being fully self-employed and figuring out all the things behind the scenes and how I'm going to build my business over the next 6 months. So this series is going to give you the behind the scenes look and at all the things that are going to transpire, because I know that there's magic waiting for me and waiting for our community in these next few months. So I'm excited to dive into it all. I'm excited to share with you what I'm working on, like actually working on, what systems I'm putting into place, what I'm probably struggling with as I move forward over these next few months. And it's going to be a good time. Okay. So last week, one of the things I'm just going to dive into, I'm not going to give you the day by day replay because that will probably be boring and you guys don't want to hear that. But I'm going to start with one of my wins. So last week, I shared with you what are my 3 big main goals for this next 6 months. A lot of them were like goals for the year, but I'm kind of condensing it, and we're giving ourselves a 6-month time frame. So come my birthday, which is September 19, I would love to have accomplished all of these goals. It's not going to be the end of the world if I don't, but I know that it is my goal to do it. So one of those goals was to land a 10K paid speaking gig. Wouldn't that be amazing if I came here second episode and was like, your girl did it? Unfortunately, that's not the case. But my contingency plan, if I did not meet that landing of the 10K speaking gig, which I know is going to happen for me this year, I feel it in my bones. I wanted to at least get 5 separate paid speaking gigs. I didn't care what the amount was. I just wanted 5 separate paid speaking gigs because I haven't been paid up to this point yet for speaking. And as a reminder, I've been actively pursuing it professionally just for this past year, probably not even a full year yet. But I've had a lot of really amazing opportunities to put myself out there and to be a speaker. And now I'm really honing in on, okay, let's make sure I can start getting paid for this, because speaking is definitely what I want to have as a big part of my career. I love doing it. I love being in that role where I can share a little bit of inspiration, motivation to the people that are listening, to the people that are attending the events. I love being in like a teacher instructor role. My previous job, I was actually an instructor for quite some time, and I've always kind of just leaned naturally into these leadership roles, because I have a lot to say and I truly, it's so interesting, like seeing everything, like the journey that I've been on, because I recognize this pattern of me just wanting to support other people and help be that little stepping stone to their success, no matter how big or small. So previously I was working in the training department at my day job, first as a mentor and then an actual instructor, and then as a supervisor, but still in the training department where I can still like have those opportunities to teach our trainees and to help them step into the best technician that they could potentially step into. So I love the world of speaking, and I'm definitely leaning into that more and more. And the win is that I did kind of unofficially book my first paid speaking gig. So, well, I feel like I want to hug someone, but obviously no one's around me. So virtual hugs. It we're going full transparency again, okay? It's a $50 speaking gig, but your girl is celebrating all of the wins. The fact that it's my first speaking gig and it kind of just like fell into my lap, and I feel like I also kind of made the opportunity happen for myself. Like, I am celebrating that hard. And I feel like there's been so many of these like micro moments that are so worth celebrating. And it's so important to be able to acknowledge all of those small steps, right? It's like the what is it called? I want to say anomaly. I know that's absolutely not the right word. Like the metaphor of the snow, like all those little snowflakes on a branch. Little tiny snowflakes don't make a difference, but when you accumulate all of them, and that's when the branch breaks, right? And it's all of these small moments that we really need to recognize and acknowledge and celebrate, and just feel like so deserving and worthy of just relishing in that. Like, that is what's going to keep pushing us forward and really like start catapulting us into bigger wins. So I am hardcore celebrating that, because it's been 1 week since I've announced out loud, like, that is one of my goals, right? To get the 10K speaking gig, or at the very least 5 separate paid speaking gigs. And I've already got one of them down, and that's going to be happening next week. So super excited for that. I feel like I can go off on a tangent just about the speaking world, and maybe we will do that. But again, I'm trying to keep this under 30 minutes. So one thing I will say is that another thing that I'm working on with my strategy in becoming a professional speaker is really working on my personal branding. So obviously, I'm very much the face of Empowered by Women. Even though there's so many other beautiful faces in the community that we put at the forefront of everything we do, which is something that I love so much. So I am very much in this place of not wanting to be so much the face of it, because when I speak to our girls, like, it is our community, it is our platform. It is not just me. It's not just what I created. It's what we created together. And I think that's what makes Empowered by Women so, so special. And I don't want to take away from that. And I've also recognized that my personal Instagram account, it's been a couple of years. I have not had the time to keep up with it, nor do I like care to post personal things. Like, I'm not the type to like go on a trip and want to take a picture and then post it on Instagram. Like, maybe I'll share my stories, but I won't create like a formal post out of it, or whatever carousel reel. I'm not going to do that. The only time I get like lit up about creating content is if it's for the business. So my personal Instagram was kind of stagnant for a while, until maybe these past few months, where I'm like, okay, I really want to start transitioning my personal Instagram from something that was a lot of like outfits, because I love fashion. So that was always kind of where I thought my entrepreneurship journey would take me. So there's a lot of like just like OOTD posts on my personal Instagram, some family things. But again, I wasn't really active on there. But now that I'm positioning myself as an experienced professional speaker, and I want people to be seeking me out and seeing that that is something that I offer. So if they're looking for it, they have me at the forefront of their mind. I'm transitioning that Instagram account into, my personal brand, where I'm consistently positioning myself as a speaker who does this regularly as a career. So if you go onto my Instagram now, not only did I change my Instagram name quite a little while ago, I even changed my bio to say like entrepreneur, motivational speaker, all of the things. It links back to my businesses. And most of the recent posts are now of me speaking, whether that was on a panel, doing my keynote, if I was featured in a magazine, really positioning myself as this expert, because you never know like where people are looking for you. And it's so easy for me to build that as a personal brand while I am already posting things on Empowered by Women, and I can easily just tag my personal Instagram account as a collaborator. So it's not like a heavy lift on my end. And it just makes so much sense to have one central location for people that are booking speakers to look at my page and be like, okay, she is actually a speaker. We're not hiring like a newbie, someone that hasn't done it before. We can get a taste of her style, how she shows up, all of those things. So that's definitely one of the strategies that I have. I have my speaker website already up. I did invest in a speaker program. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but I'm like completely blanking right now. What is it called? Holy moly. I don't know, but I'm going to look it up and I will share it with you in case you guys are interested, and I'll dive a little bit more into that. But going into that speaker program was what pushed me to create my speaker website, and I love my speaker website. And I also recently invested into this amazing photographer, videographer, who created a speaker reel for me, or what some people might call a demo video or a sizzle reel, from the event that I spoke at. Obsessed with how it came out. So Shanna Yurko, oh my gosh, highly, highly, highly recommend. So check her out. Maybe I'll tag her in the comments or something like that, so you can go check her out. SHANAYURKO on Instagram. So if anyone is looking for that kind of material so that you can also position yourself as a speaker, as an amazing event organizer, workshop facilitator, or whatever it is that you do, definitely getting that kind of content is going to be like gold for you, because people can actually visually see what it's like to work with you and like what they can expect if they were to hire you. So I need to update that into my website, because currently right now my website just says demo reel coming soon. So I want to actually have a demo reel there. Speaking of demo reel, the speaker program that I was a part of the offer was for them to create a demo reel for me. I actually hated the one they came up with. The program itself was great, but hated the video that they came up with. Even though you get to like pick the clips and everything, like the editing was just so off brand for me. And it's now making me remember, making me think of the other founder that I worked with. Her name is also Crystal Jacobo. She's the founder of She Is Made for More. And she was talking about how she had invested so many thousands of dollars, maybe a few hundred, I don't know, I could be exaggerating, to have this videographer come to one of her speaking events and create the sizzle reel for her. And she like absolutely hated it. And like she posted it, I think, but it like there was no ROI for her and the quality wasn't there. So we really got to be mindful of the quality of the things that we're also putting out, because even though that's not necessarily like our work, maybe we're not the ones that filmed ourselves and edited it, it still reflects us. So if you're putting that on your website, like the quality of that video still reflects the quality of your work. So that's definitely something to be mindful of. And then Crystal, going back to Crystal, she ended up like redoing it, getting someone else to come do it that was very in tune with who she is, what her brand is, what she offers. She got a new video done, a new reel. And then from that reel, because of the quality of it, she was able to book more speaking gigs. So super important to keep in mind. We gotta keep in mind the quality of the things that we're putting out there, because people are paying attention to that, right? We don't want to hire, or not we, but there are event organizers that pay attention to that and don't want to hire someone that doesn't seem like they are very well experienced in the speaker world. And having a good quality video and good quality photos to show you out there doing the thing is really going to pay dividends in the long run. All right, so going off on a tangent, another thing that I really wanted to talk about today was really being mindful of your energy. And this goes a few different ways. So I started thinking about this when I was at the gym, and I was having one of those days where I was like, you know, I really don't want to work out. Anyone that goes to the gym, or really just anyone, even if you, especially if you don't like working out, you've had those moments of, I really don't want to work out. And I can be kind of like here and there when it comes to what kind of music I like to listen to at the gym. Sometimes I'm very much in this very peaceful mindset, and I could listen to like some R&B at the gym while I'm lifting hella heavy, or when I used to lift hella heavy. But most of the time I need like Eminem in my ear, or NF. I don't even know what his name stands for, NF, but I'm obsessed with him. I love his music. It really puts me in the mood. And that was exactly what I needed when I was at the gym a few days ago, because I was listening to like these slow songs and I was like, this is just like, oh my God, like it felt like I was just dragging my feet and it was taking forever and I was not getting the momentum that I needed. And I said, you know what? I need someone like yelling in my ear. I need the music loud. I need to change what my environment currently feels like, because the energy just simply is not there. So I switched the Pandora station, and then it started playing NF, and he was loud and he was energetic. And I immediately, it was like a light bulb or a light switch went off or went on. I don't know. But it completely changed my energy. And I was like, this is it. This is what I needed. And I felt so motivated to like push hard at the gym that day. And it made me think of just like, this can be applied to life, right? This can be applied to like who you're surrounding yourself with. What kind of external noise are you allowing into your space? And are you accepting external noise that's actually conducive to the things that you want to do, right? Because if you're out there at your, whatever your metaphorical gym is, listening to whatever your metaphorical R&B is, and you're like, this is not doing it for me. This is making me like not want to work. I'm so unmotivated. This is so stupid. I'm so bored. I'm so uninspired. Like, you need to change that situation for yourself, right? And that can be the people in your circle. That can be quite literally like the music that you're playing. That can be the space that you're working in, whether that's at home. Maybe you're like sitting at the dining table, like, and our dining table is like crazy messy all the time because of all the kids and then the projects and whatever. Like, what does your actual environment look like, and is it supporting you and the work you do? Another case in point, I of course had multiple conversations with multiple people after that they found out that I quit my job, and a lot of people want to check in on me, which is really cool and really sweet. But at the same time, there were some conversations that I was having where it was kind of just like, I want to say, I don't know if I want to say complaining, but it was very much like just like all the negative things about Social Security. And right before I had one of these calls, I was in this like energy and like spirit of, oh my gosh, I'm so lit up. I'm so excited for all the things that are going to come, blah, blah, blah. And then someone gives me a call. And then now all of a sudden I was brought back down to like all of the negativity and the not so great energy from my day job, which I had just left. And I was probably on the call for maybe like 20 or 30 minutes. And in my head, while this person was talking, I was like, you know what? This is literally the energy that I walked away from on purpose. So what am I doing? Like, I'm doing a disservice to myself by continuing to stay on the call and linger in everything that I literally already left. There was no point. There was no point. And to all my entrepreneurs out there that are listening, you know that the energy is so different when you're talking to another entrepreneur and when you're talking to a 9-to-5er. It's just different. And this person was a 9-to-5er. And I said, I had to stop the call. I said, you know what? Like, I got to get back to work. Like, it was great catching up with you. Thanks for checking in. I have a few things that I'm wanting to do today, so I need to step off. And that was really me making sure that I'm honoring my time and my boundaries and my energy, because I'm not going to let anyone bring me back down to operating at this frequency of just like complaining about everything and like feeling miserable about like the work that I'm doing and about what my environment is, because I fully believe that we have the power to change what our circumstances are. And I totally get that not everyone has the ability to just leave their day job. And I feel very fortunate that I was even able to make that decision for myself. But even if you're not able to make that big of a shift, you can make smaller shifts, like ending the call early, right? Or not even taking the call if you know it's someone that you don't even want to speak to, that you know constantly judges you or brings you down. Whatever the case may be, you have the power to change all of those little facets of your environment so that you can try to foster a more supportive and conducive environment to support the work that you're doing. Your energy is so incredibly valuable, and you want to make sure that you're honoring that above anything else, honoring you and your energy and your time. This also makes me, your girl, I would have never back in the day thought that I would be like a talker, but this is my life. So I am glad that you're here for the ride. I appreciate you sitting through these episodes and listening to me speak. But the more I talk, the more I'm like, you know what, this is another little lesson that I learned. In terms of just honoring your time and your boundaries, LinkedIn is another place where I'm really trying to grow my my personal brand, and really for the purpose of speaking professionally, not necessarily for Empowered by Women. Like, obviously Empowered by Women is everything to me. It's like, it's my other baby. But I really want to position myself as a speaker, particularly on LinkedIn, because I feel like there are a lot of people on LinkedIn that could actually book me and pay me. So that's one of my goals. But of course, expanding on LinkedIn opens the doors to so many people like wanting to pitch me, which is not fun. It's kind of annoying. we can have a conversation about that another time as well. But this girl reached out to me, and of course, there's going to be a lot of salesy people that say, like, I want to hop on a call, like, I'd love to get to know you more, blah, blah, blah. But you need to trust your instinct and feel like, is that genuine, or are you trying to sell me something? Because there will be a lot of people trying to sell you something, okay? And so I got that kind of like inkling when she reached out to me. And so I started Empowered by Women. It was built on collaboration. And this is why I have so many calls booked out for literally up until May. Like, my whole April is already booked out with collaboration calls and calls with our members and calls with whoever. And so I don't ever want to be at a point where I'm like completely turning everyone away and not taking any calls. But at the same time, I've recognized how valuable my time is, and I can't just take calls with anyone. Back to what I said in the first episode, you can't be that available. Like, if you're that available, that means you are actively not working on the things that you should be working on. So I said, I'm also not in the business of like burning bridges. We are all very much in the business of relationship building. And so how do I respond to this person respectfully, where I'm not burning a bridge, where I'm still leaving the door open for collaboration, but only if it's intentional and authentic collaboration, because that is what I want to welcome into my space. I do not need someone to pitch me for an hour and waste my time, my very valuable time that I could be using to build this platform and to support the women in it. So I responded, this is not verbatim, but something along the lines of, if your intention for the call is to explore different ways to collaborate, I would love to. Like, that is what this community is all about. But full transparency, I am not looking for a coach. So if you're looking to just share more of your services, then that wouldn't be a great fit. And I just want to make sure that we're both honoring our time. I was very proud of myself for that response. And I think she responded saying like, I want to get to know you more, but then she pretty much just like stopped talking to me. So that was a very like clear indication, like, you were not actually looking to truly connect and see how we can support each other. You were just looking for the next sale. And this is what I want you guys to think about when you go into networking. It's not about the next sale. It's about the next expansion, right? So how can you actively go into some kind of event, some new connection, and genuinely learn about the person that you're connecting with to figure out how you can work together, not just sell them, right? You can plant the seeds of everything that you do and see if they have any interest in that, but give them or allow them to give you the permission to share your services, right? All right. So what other fun things happened? We celebrated baby's first birthday, which blows my mind. His birthday was actually last Tuesday, and we took him to Jumpity Bumpity in Concord, which is a great place for babies. It was very safe. He absolutely loved it. And then we bought like these mini Oreo cupcakes and celebrated with him. It was just fun and casual and just our immediate family. So it was nice. And then this weekend, we also went to the Lego Discovery Museum in San Jose, or in Milpitas. And that was pretty cool. That was the first time we went. It was smaller than I thought it would be, but it was still pretty cool. It took us like a few hours to get through all the things. And the girls really loved it too. So I spent some time with the family. And then come this week, my partner, Daniel, actually had to start going into the building full time. So he was teleworking full time, but now he's on site full time. And that, of course, just like changes everything all over again for our family. So as if my schedule wasn't already tight to begin with, now I'm doing drop off and pick up every single day for all three children. So that's fun. But I mean, at the same time, that's why I left, right? To be able to have the flexibility to do that. So, I mean, it definitely shortens my workday quite a bit, but I am grateful for it. And I think just being able to bring that gratitude in everything that we do and all the changes that we have in our life, that's what will keep us operating in a higher frequency that we should be operating in, so that opportunity continues to pour into us. Okay. And then lastly, I feel like I'm nearing the 30-minute mark. I just want to share that I just came from a networking event today at one of our partners, CoBiz. So CoBiz is co-working event venue in Richmond. If you guys are near or in that area, definitely check them out. The space that they curated is beautiful. And one of our members was there, and another girl who had been at previous events that's not yet a member, she was also there, but she was talking to me about like potentially joining as a member because we like keep running into each other. And she was like, this is clearly a sign that I need to be a part of it. But it's so important to just be able to put yourselves in these rooms. And I just wanted to share a few networking tips before I end this episode, because I know how awkward it can be to put yourself in the room and like not know what to say. And my biggest tip would just be to get curious. Okay. Don't get so committed to the sale, as I was just saying. Get curious about the people around you. This is how you're going to keep the conversations flowing. And I've seen time and time again, anytime I hop on a collaboration call, even if I don't have an idea already in mind of like, what could this look like if I were to work with this person? Like, that's the point of the call, right? So we can explore what that looks like. And sometimes I don't have an idea right off the top of my head of like what a collaboration could look like, what kind of partnership I could offer them, what would our event look like if we were to do an event. So I ask them questions about who they are, what their brand is, who they serve, what they represent, like what have they done in the past. And by getting curious and learning more about who they are and what they offer, that is what starts turning my wheels, right? And that's what starts like, okay, I can kind of see a connection to what you just said and what I've offered in the past. And maybe that's where the connection is. Maybe that is how we come together and offer something as this beautiful partnership to the rest of the world. And you can kind of take that same thing and then apply it to your networking, right? Get curious about the people around you. People love talking about themselves. Okay, so once you start showing a genuine interest, then they'll really like be hooked on you because they're like, wow, you're a great listener. I remember talking to you. I was, talking all about myself and you were like amazing and blah, blah, blah. People love talking about themselves. Okay, so don't keep it like, don't just say like, oh, hi, my name's Crystal. Great to meet you. Hi, my name's Crystal. How do you know about CoBiz, right? Have like a general like in your pocket list of questions that you can ask. And I promise it will do you wonders in the long run. If networking is not your forte, like have just general questions that you can keep in your pocket, your back pocket, just in case you feel like you don't know what to ask and it's starting to get awkward. How do you know about CoBiz? How did you hear about this event? How have you been to this event in the past? What is it that you do? Cool. If you don't know about what they do, like if they're like speaking and you're like, it's completely gibberish to you, which has happened to me before, that's fine too. Let them know that. You don't have to feel like, you don't have to pretend to be an expert in whatever it is that they do. You don't have to pretend you understand what their business is. You can simply say like, cool, I know nothing about that business, or like, who do you serve? Like, how actually do you help them? Ask the follow-up questions and then allow that to lead to more and more conversation where it's a lot more open-ended. And then the follow-up. If you make really, really great connections, the magic is in the follow-up, not the actual event itself, which of course is magical, but nothing will come from it if you choose not to follow up. And I had a beautiful follow-up conversation with someone that I met at an event a few weeks ago. And I am very intentional with my follow-up. So anytime I have a beautiful connection with someone at an in-person event, I will make a point to reach out to them. Not everyone is going to follow up with you, and that's okay. But the people that are meant to be in your world and we're genuinely excited to have that conversation with you during the event, they will make a point to touch base with you. So after the event, the Clean Living Experience event, I made so many beautiful connections. And as soon as I settled back home, I literally sent voice messages to every single one of them via Instagram. Said, hey, it was beautiful connecting with you. I love the work you're doing with blah, blah, blah. I would love to schedule a call so we can chat some more, continue our conversation and explore what a possible collaboration could look like, right? And I had one of those conversations today. And what did that lead to? That led her to telling me about all of the events that she's planning in LA. That led her to, offering a potential like seat as a speaker at one of her future events. It wasn't a formal invite because she's still like working out the kinks and like figuring out how to bring these events to life. But the fact of the matter is that that seed is now planted where she's kind of informally invited me into her events. And all that took was for me to follow up with her, right? Because if I didn't follow up with her, I can't guarantee that she would have followed up with me. And then she would have been hosting all these events and putting in all these other speakers. But I know me personally, I want to actively be a speaker. And I want to also be able to create these opportunities for the members in our community. So it's my responsibility to truly build and nurture that relationship and not only see what kind of opportunities she can offer me in our community, but see in everything that she's doing, how can I support her? And even just by offering, like, what can I do to support you? That does wonders because not a lot of people offer it, right? So if you are one of those people that offer it and genuinely mean it, like that really puts a good taste in someone else's mouth about who you are and what it's like to work with you. And you will be top of mind when it comes to whatever it is that they need. All right, so I'm going to leave it there because I think we've passed the 30-minute mark. I hope this was an amazing episode for you. I love chatting with you all, even though it's just via a camera screen. But I love being able to just like open up my brain and let everything fall out and see what it is that you guys are all loving. So if you are listening to this episode, I would love, love, love if you could take a little screenshot, post it on Instagram and tag me so that I can share it. And then also just DM me what your favorite takeaway is or any questions that you might have that you want me to dive into. I am an open book. I am happy to dive into them. This is week 2 of being fully self-employed, and I will see you after week 3.